This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Record volumes of fuel oil from Latin America landed in the United States in March, customs data showed, as refiners snapped up alternatives to Russian feedstocks ahead of Washington's April 22 deadline to end U.S. imports of Russian oil. U.S. Gulf Coast refiners that use fuel oil to supplement heavy crude went hunting for new supplies last month after U.S. President Joe Biden placed a ban on Russian crude and refined products with a 45-day wind-down period. Russia accounted for about a quarter of the 524,400 barrels per day, BPD, of fuel oil the United States imported last year. It also supplied some 200,000 barrels of oil per day of crude, mostly to U.S. East Coast refiners.
Russian gas deliveries to Europe through Ukraine dipped on Friday in line with customer requests, while flows remained eastbound into Poland from Germany through the Russia-EU Yamal pipeline. Nominations for flows into Slovakia from Ukraine via the Velka-Kapusany border point were at 785,485 megawatt-hours, MWh, per day on Friday, data from Slovakian operator TSO Ustream showed, down from around 882,239 MWh on Thursday. Russia's Gazprom said on Friday it continues to supply gas to Europe via Ukraine in line with requests from European consumers.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Natural gas trading is seeing a renaissance in the United States with the return of price volatility, while market turmoil in Europe could keep gas demand and exports high for years, according to trading industry executives. Sharp natural gas price swings that can bring huge profits to traders have resurfaced due to severe weather events and the European Union's search for alternatives to Russian gas imports. Prices at the main U.S. gas trading hub are up 64% this year, touching their highest level since 2008. Investment bank TD Securities said it is beefing up its natural gas trading desk, while fund manager Balyasny Asset Management, pipeline operator Williams Companies and oil refiner Phillips 66 are beefing up or building gas trading, according to four people familiar with the matter.
The International Energy Agency, IEA, has listed members' contributions to a 120 million barrel release of crude and oil products from emergency stockpiles aimed at cooling global oil prices following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The release of stocks by the U.S. allied members of the IEA, which is made up of 31 mostly industrialized countries, but does not include Russia, would be their second coordinated release in a month and the fifth in the agency's history. It is the largest release from non-U.S. IEA countries, and the biggest by the United States. The United States will match the 60 million barrels tapped by other IEA countries as part of its 180 million barrel draw from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve announced in March. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. Newly refined Russian platinum and palladium was suspended from trading in London from Friday, denying access to the metal's biggest trade hub in the latest in a growing list of measures against Russian interests because of the conflict in Ukraine. Prices of palladium surged as much as 11%, with traders fearing the move could worsen a shortage of the metal automakers use in exhaust pipes to reduce emissions. Russia's Norilsk Nickel, Nornickel, produces 25 to 30% of the world's palladium supply and about 10% its platinum, which is also used to curb vehicle emissions as well as in other industries and to make jewelry. Platinum prices were up about 1% at 1600 GMT, with palladium up 8%.
Copper prices rebounded on Friday after 2 days of declines, bolstered by tight supply, hopes of more Chinese stimulus and firmer oil prices. Benchmark copper on the London Metal Exchange gained 0.2% to $10,335 a ton by 16:30 GMT. Base metals have been tracking to some extent to what's going on in energy markets, not least because that pushes up their costs, said Caroline Bain, chief commodities economist at Capital Economics. Supply of most metals is constrained, stocks are low, so we're forecasting prices will stay high for most of this year, even with the slowdown in China.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
The United States on Friday broadened its export curbs against Russia and Belarus, restricting access to imports of items such as fertilizer and pipe valves as it seeks to ratchet up pressure on Moscow and Minsk following the Russian invasion of Ukraine. President Joe Biden's administration also restricted flights of American-made aircraft that are owned, controlled or leased by Belarusians from flying into Belarus as part of the U.S. government's response to Belarus's actions in support of Russia's aggressive conduct in Ukraine. Washington has sought to deepen sanctions against Russia and ally Belarus after a withdrawal of Russian troops from northern Kiev revealed mass graves in the town of Bucha.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.